You know, when we talk about football, it's usually all about goals, tactics, and who's lifting the trophy. But what if the real soul of the game, the thing that actually holds it all together, lies somewhere deeper? Today, we're pulling on what we're calling football's sacred threads, these incredibly powerful and often invisible bonds of family, loyalty, and tradition.
I just love this way of thinking about it. It's not just a game, right? It's a living tapestry, a story that's been woven over decades, connecting players, clubs, and all of us fans in a way that very few things in this world can.
So, let's get into it. What are these threads, really? We're going to pull on a few of them and see what makes the fabric of this sport so strong, and also why sometimes it can be so incredibly fragile.
Okay, first up, the generational legends. And we're talking about the human stories here, the families, the legendary one-club players, and even the game-changing philosophies that could pass down, literally forming the bedrock of football's heritage.
So, what exactly do we mean by a football dynasty? Well, it's way more than just having a famous last name. It's this super rare mix of truly elite, top-tier talent and this profound, deep-seated loyalty to a club, passed down from one generation to the next like a family heirloom.
And you just can't talk about dynasties without talking about the Maldinis at AC Milan. I mean, look at this timeline. It kicks off with Cesare way back in 1954, then his son, the absolute legend Paolo, in 85, and then Paolo's son Daniel in 2020. We're talking grandfather, father, and son, all wearing that iconic red and black.
Just let this number sink in for a second. 71 years. When Daniel Maldini stepped onto that pitch, it marked over 7 decades of his family being woven directly into the story of AC Milan. That kind of commitment is just wild. It's almost unheard of in the modern game.
And the thing is, the Maldinis aren't alone here. You see this pattern pop up all over Europe. You've got the Busquets family, who basically defined an entire era at Barcelona, the Lampards, who became a cornerstone of English football, and the Schmeichels, father and son, both conquering the Premier League as goalkeepers. It's a foundational thread for sure.
But this thread of loyalty, it isn't just about family. It's not just about blood. Some of the most beloved, most revered figures in all of football are the one-club men. These players who dedicate their entire careers, their entire souls to a single badge. Just think about Ryan Giggs. 963 appearances for one club, Manchester United. Over a 24-year career, he saw teammates come and go, managers change, even stadiums evolve. But his loyalty was the one constant. That number is just staggering.
And then, of course, there's Francesco Totti, the captain of Rome, 25 years. This is the guy who famously turned down a huge move to a powerhouse Real Madrid team just so he could stay with his boyhood club. His story is pure football romance, an entire career for one city.
But you know, these sacred threads aren't always people. Sometimes they're ideas. Take a look at this tactical lineage, for example. It all starts with Rinus Michels and his total football. Then his student, the great Johan Cruyff, perfects it. Cruyff then mentors a young Pep Guardiola, who evolves it into tiki-taka. And now Guardiola's own student, Mikel Arteta, is adapting it at Arsenal. It's basically a family tree of pure football genius.
Okay, but it's not always a beautiful story of unending loyalty. These threads feel so sacred precisely because they can be broken. So now, we're going to look at what happens when that loyalty is tested, when the fabric is completely torn apart.
And there's no better example of the two extremes than North London. On one side, you have Tony Adams, Mr. Arsenal, 19 years at the club, a living symbol of it, honored with a statue outside the stadium. And then you have Sol Campbell. He was the captain of Arsenal's biggest, most bitter rivals, Tottenham, and he crossed that divide. For Spurs fans, it was the ultimate betrayal. They called him Judas, and it's a wound that honestly has never really healed. And that's the thing, isn't it? The sheer visceral anger in these moments proves just how much this loyalty is supposed to mean. Remember when Luis Figo moved from Barcelona to Real Madrid? Fans literally threw a pig's head at him. That's not just being mad about a transfer. That's a reaction to what feels like cultural treason. The betrayal itself defines the value of the bond. Which brings us to a really tough question, especially today. In this world of billion-dollar deals and absolutely immense pressure to win trophies right now, is that kind of romantic loyalty, is it still enough?
And this table really lays out the conflict perfectly. I mean, on one hand, you've got Lionel Messi, 21 years at Barcelona, the ultimate one-club man.
forced to leave because of the club's financial mess. His loyalty couldn't beat the balance sheet. And then on the other hand, you have Harry Kane, so loyal to Tottenham for so many years, but with no major trophies. He finally leaves to go hunt for silverware. It is the classic head versus heart dilemma.
So, with all these modern pressures, all this money flying around, why do these threads of family and loyalty still matter so much? What's their real place in the game today? This, I think, gets to the heart of what makes football's soul endure.
At the end of the day, the answer is pretty simple. It's continuity. In a sport, and a world really, that feels faster and more commercialized every single year, these stories are our anchor. They connect the past to the present, and they remind us that a football club is so much more than just its current squad or its latest owner.
Ultimately, these traditions tap into something deeply human for all of us. They build a real sense of community, right? As parents pass down their love for a club to their kids, they forge an identity. When a player like Tage becomes a symbol for an entire city, and they create this incredible sense of belonging, that feeling that you're part of a story that is so much bigger than yourself.
And that brings us right back to where we started. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? The real strength of football, its magic, isn't just in the goals or the trophies. It's in the loyalty and the stories that are so carefully passed down through time.
So, I'll just leave you with this to think about. As the game gets bigger and richer and more global, with all this talk of super leagues and just mind-boggling transfer fees, what is one of these sacred threads actually worth? In the end, what is loyalty truly worth today? It's definitely something to think about.